All right, we got 8:01. We'll get started. If whoever wants to chime in later, we'll try to catch them up to speed. I appreciate everybody being out here tonight. Tonight, we're just gonna go over 4-man mechanics for kickoff. So feel free to ask any questions as we go along. Stop us if you need. I'll be working with the lineups, pretty much where to be for the wing officials, and Doc will be working with the umpires where they need to be positioned. We'll talk about first where to be during the kickoff, and then after that, then we'll go into kind of where your eyes and where you should be focusing on as the play continues. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can kind of get a better idea of what kickoff looks like. Can everybody see the field?
Yes.
All right. So on 4-man mechanics, there's only going to be 4 officials out there. Pretty much going to be from JV and down. So the kids are not going to be as fast or as big as varsity, but there's still some key things we need to take into account as we officiate. Well, the first thing we're going to talk about is where we line up. For the wing officials, it's going to be the H and the L. Obviously, we're going to talk about press box side, which is usually the home field side, and then away from the press box side, which is going to be the chain side. So typically what we're going to do in years past, the H will be away, but since with the new mechanics, we'll be switching sides of the field depending on what half we're in. So what we're going to say is we're going to keep this as the chain side, and we'll keep down here press box side. So starting off on the kickoff, whoever's on the chain side, most likely going to be the L, but on the chain side, you will have K's restrict the line. So the 40-yard line, wherever they're kicking off, or if there's a penalty, it'll be based on wherever they're kicking off from. But to start a game without any penalty, we're going to start from the 40-yard line as far as kickoff.
4 milligram.
Got a question?
You know what? It's 2 milligrams, right?
Let's mute out, if we can, mute our mics unless we have a question. So again, chain side, the cage restraining line will be the 40-yard line. What you're first going to do is count your players. Count so the both wings, so your top guy that has a cage restricting line and the opposite press box side will have the R's restricting line. Your responsibility is to count K players. Make sure you have 11. If they don't have 11, make sure they get 11. So if they have 12, get one off. If they have 10, make sure they have 11. Unless coach said he doesn't care, then we'll go. Once you set, you'll give the kicker the ball. You let him put the ball down. Ball has to be in between the hash marks. Can't be outside the hash marks. Has to be in between the hash marks, anywhere on that restricted line. Not a yard over, not a yard under. All right. Once you give the ball to the kicker, let him put it down. Once you're set, you're going to go back on the sideline and wait for the referee, which is going to be down here, to blow the whistle. Let the kicker know, do not kick the ball until you hear the white hat, hear the whistle from the white hat. As far as the guy that's on the press box side, your job after counting, your job is to make sure no one threatens this line, steps on it or over it before this ball is kicked. All right. I'll let Doc go into the umpire, then we'll come back to what we're going to look for.
Yolanda, this is Kevin. Before we do that, were you saying normally you would have the line judge on the press side, the head linesman on the away side or the chain side? Are you saying that this year those will be switched, or at the half it's going to be switched? What are the new rules on that you're mentioning?
So that is correct. So starting this year, we are going to switch sidelines. The H and the L will switch sidelines between each half. So for the first half, the line judge will be on the chain side, and the H will be on the press box side. After halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter, the H will go to the chain side, and the line judge will go to the press box side.
You start opposite your normal position.
Thank you.
All right. All right, you're up, Doc.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. For the umpire, this is quite a different perspective and position than even a 5, 6, or 7-man mechanic. The umpire is on the 20-yard line on the chain side. I say that with some approximation because during the game, if the kicks have not been going deep at all, you may want to move up further, like say to the 25-yard line. Or if kicks have been consistently going into the end zone or near the goal line, step a few steps closer to the goal line. In no other mechanic that we use, 5, 6, or 7, are you on the sideline. You must clarify and work out with your wing to that side on pooch kicks, on short kicks to that sideline. Who has the catch? Who has the block or contact in front of the catch? But you should start, unless you have feelings otherwise, on the 20-yard line on the chain side. Okay? Delano, is that good enough, or you want me to elaborate further? I guess he went to sleep.
I'm here.
Mhm.
I was on mute.
Okay.
So that's good enough, Doc. Just
Okay.
Initial position. Like you said, on the 20-yard line, waiting for the kick.
Right.
We'll
And
go.
it,
We'll
and,
go
and,
over.
it, and it can be adjusted depending upon what you see during the game. Right.
That is correct. So for the line of
Everything
scrimmage
I
guys,
say is correct.
a line of scrimmage guys, you will not be adjusting anything. These are your initial positions during kickoff. Well, let's talk about our responsibilities during the kick.
Black guy, I don't know what he does, but the white guy talking, he's retired.
So don't forget to mute your mic if you can. So don't. So when the kick is about to happen, obviously you counted your players. You talk to the kicker. Don't kick the ball until you hear the whistle. You run back to the sideline. Most referees will like your hand to be up. That way they know you're in position and then you're ready to go. Same thing with the press box side guy. You can put your hand up for the referees to know that we're ready for a kickoff. All right. Initial look for the line of scrimmage guy that has a restriction on K. You are going to treat this line as a plane if it's a short or pooch kick situation. All right. What that means is if a guy's foot is on this line and they have not kicked the ball, and once the ball is kicked and you realize it may be a squib kick, a quick pop-up kick that's going to be short, we have to throw a flag and kill the clock for offsides. If it's a deep kick and his foot is on the line or even about a yard over, foot is still in the air, we're going to let that go because that step is really insignificant to the play itself. All right. So we're going to watch the ball, going to watch the line, make sure they're legal as far as kicking. And the other caveat, what we're looking for, especially this guy and this guy down here that has a restricted line, is looking for any pop-up kicks. And what a pop-up kick is when the kicker immediately drives the ball into the ground and it pops up over his head. That's a pop-up kick and it's illegal. So we want to kill it. It's a dead ball foul. Majority of the time, we have young kickers and they're just trying to get the ball kicked. So we probably won't have a lot of that, but just keep in mind what could happen, what you're initially looking for.
So Delano, say that again. If he kicks the ball down directly into the ground and causes it to pop up, that's an illegal kick.
Pop up and it's higher and the height of the pop up is over his head. That is illegal.
Oh, okay.
All right. So if he drives it to the ground and it goes only to his waist, that is legal.
Okay.
The ball pops up over his head, and have some discretion with over his head. Has to be clear and obvious. If
Right.
it's maybe at his eyebrows, you really can't tell, let that one go. But if
Is
it's
that,
clearly over his head, that is a legal kick. It's a dead ball foul.
was that done primarily for safety to keep guys from popping that thing up and then people taking shots on that short run?
That is correct.
Yes,
That is
Okay.
correct.
and it is very difficult to see that. So don't call it unless you're absolutely certain.
Right.
I've seen film of what they say is a pop-up, and I go, wait, no, I don't see that. So be very careful with it.
So make sure it's obvious.
Yep, clear and obvious.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Clear and obvious. You won't go wrong if you could completely tell that is over his head. Clear. All right. So like I said, both wings are looking at the ball for pop-up kicks. Once the ball has cleared, the guy on the chain side, you're going to first look at the kicker. So let's fast forward the play a little bit. All right, so ball is kicked. No one has crossed the line. We are good to go. We're looking at the kicker's leg, and we can tell this is probably going to be a deeper kick. So we're good to go. All right. Once the play develops, our first initial key for the guy on the chain side will be that kicker. He has a 5-yard pretty much protection to make sure no one just comes and blasts him. All right. So we want to keep our eye as soon as that ball is kicked on the kicker to make sure none of these guys are coming to attack him. Haven't really seen it in years, so we pretty much won't see it. But again, be cognizant of what could happen to that kicker. He needs to be protected on those kicks. Once the ball is kicked, now we got to find who are our keys. Okay? Because it's only 4 of us, it's going to be hard to have eyes on all 22 players. We want to kind of divide the field. All right? So the wing guys, we want to kind of stay on our side. So what I tend to do is look at the 4 to 5 guys on my side, where the guy down here is looking at the 4 to 5 guys on his side. All right? Kicker's not going to be included. He really doesn't. He's the last man. You won't be really in this picture. All right? Also, what you want to do as the ball is kicked, you want to look for work. All right? You pretty much have the first wave of runners. The umpire and the referee will have the guys back here. Short wings, you'll have the first wave. What I like to do is look at this first wedge of the return team. If you watch those players, they'll take you to a foul. So I like to divide the field. Maybe these two will be in my straight tunnel vision, where I might have this guy late on the side of my eye. Same thing over here. I'll have these 2 guys in my vision. This middle guy will be late. All right. I have an idea of where the ball is going to be kicked, and I just follow these players as the return happens. Never look at the ball, because the ball will not take you to a foul. Have to be disciplined in keeping your eyes where work is to be done, meaning mixed colors. You find mixed colors, that's where the foul is going to happen. Any questions so far before I move it to Doc for the umpire? All right, Doc, you're up.
All right, you're starting approximately the 20-yard line. You're counting the receiving team and you're signaling that with the referee. If they have 12, do not let that kick go off. If they have less than 11, let someone know, but that's the coach responsibility. Your movement will depend on the depth of the kick. If it is clearly well past your position, you're dropping down step by step along the sideline, prepared to start the clock when the ball is touched. If it's shorter than your position, freeze and look for either a fair catch or a kick catch near the sideline. And as you have predetermined with your wing on that side, who has the catch and who has the contact in front of the catch. You're going to have to be very well versed in what is a free kick out of bounds untouched by R. You're going to have to be well versed on what is a touchback, because you're going to have to possibly drop to the goal line, and you're going to have to know when to start the clock. On a return, notice that you're going to have the initial wave of contact at about the 35 to 40. But as the runner moves upfield, you're going to have to follow the runner and the blockers in front on approximately your half of the field. The referee will have the other half. Be prepared for illegal blocks, illegal contact on the returner. Okay, Delano, I'm done.
All
Oh,
right.
one other thing, guys, and we can see this on film. Do not watch the ball. Get an idea where it is, and then move accordingly, watching the players. Okay, I'm sorry, Delano.
No, you're good. In a nutshell, that's pretty much what format mechanics look like on a kickoff. Another thing umpires will most likely have, they have the spot of where the return ends. All right. So
Yes.
again, your wing guys will be deep. They're not worried about spots. That is the only time you're not worried about a spot. Your umpire or your referee will help with where the return ends. Now, if it's a deep run, then go ahead and get it. You know, if it's 30, 40, 50 yards downfield, past half, midfield, then go ahead and get it, because you're going to be that deep. Unless your umpire wants it as well. But that's the only time you really help out on the spot. Otherwise, you're looking for blocks, wing guys. I normally I let the wave pass, so you'll be down at the 45 maybe, looking down. This will be too deep, probably about the 45, looking down. As the return happens, you're backpedaling towards the goal line because you have goal line responsibility.
Umpires, when you spot the ball, start it on a yard line, not in between a yard line. Spot it on a yard line. If it's in between the 24 and the 23, spot it on the 23. If it's in between, always go back one. All right. Don't spot it in the middle between yard lines. You agree with that, Delano?
I agree with it.
Okay.
All right.
I have a question.
Umpires, you're going to be doing something in 4-man that you're not going to do in 5, 6, or 7. You're going to have to monitor the sideline. You're going to have to know when to start the clock, and you're going to have to know the problems with free kick out of bounds untouched by R, and what touching does to the ball in the middle of the field. Know definitely what ends the kick. Okay. This is not a simple mechanic for an umpire. It's very different. The wings, similar. Referee, similar, but this is very different for an umpire.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll go over another kick play. Just kind of talk through what it looks like. And then if you got any questions, let us know.
Yeah, can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
So when you're saying there's if there's 12 people on the field, when is the appropriate time to blow the whistle or signal that? Is it after? I mean, because obviously some people could be running on and off. Like at
No,
what
you
point?
don't let that kick go off with 12.
I know, but like when, so like they have until the line judge or head judge moves back to the 40, and after the referee blows his whistle, and then if they have 12, or
No,
when?
As soon as you
As soon as you
discover it,
recognize.
Okay.
As soon as you recognize. So say for instance, they're doing a water break and you see the players are coming on, you count to 10, you see one coming on 11, then you see one, he's unsure, it's 12. Hey coach, you got one too many, or coach, count your players, coach. And as long as you don't check off with the referee, that referee would never blow his whistle. He is waiting for you to check off with him, as well as him counting as well as offense. So if y'all both say he counted 11, and out of the corner of your eye you see 12 coming on. No, we can't kick this ball. No, stop it. We got too many. White hat. We got too many. Do not let him blow the whistle. Do not let that kick come off. So for instance, say you counted 11, y'all both checked off. He blows his whistle, and someone comes on the field to be 12. You blow your whistle and you stop that. Say, no, coach, you can't kick off. You got one too many. So
Hey,
it just
guy,
depends on the situation.
this is
Gotcha.
often the visiting team. You got one coach who's also the bus driver, and he's trying to keep it together over there. Help him out. Don't let that play go off with 12, because if you do, then you've got a major problem with illegal participation penalty. Don't let that happen.
All right. So let's kind of retrack and kind of go over everything. So chain side is over here. This is the chain side. And then this is press box side. Okay. Just for this example. For this example. So again, whoever's on the chain side has cage restrictor line. Whoever has press box side has R restrictor line. When you come out, you're gonna be right here when you first present yourself. You're gonna be probably right here, waiting for the kicker to give him the ball. All right. You tell the kicker, do not kick the ball until you hear the whistle from the white hat. Same time, I'll be counting my 11 on the kicking team, as well as my guy on press box side will help count to make sure. Okay. Once you give the ball to the kicker, he's going to put it down. Once you realize everybody's within 5 yards. So remember, the kicking team, if he's not a kicker, he cannot be behind the 5-yard interval from where the ball is kicked, from where the restrictor line. They have to be either on that line or in front of the line. Cannot be behind the line. Once we realize all is set, we're going to run to the sideline. All right. Once we run to the sideline and we know everything is ready, we will put our hands up to let the referee know we are ready for this kickoff. Everything looks legal. We're ready, good to go. All right.
Delano, are you warning them and trying to get that line cleaned up before you let the kick go off if guys are dropped back too far?
Yep. So as they're running out, you say, hey, kicking team, make sure you're in front of the line. Kicking team, make sure you're in front of the line.
Okay.
Kicker.
Guys, if you're doing a middle school, they have no idea where they are in space. And also wings, when the ball's kicked, they've got to have at least 4 on each side of the kicker. Now, the referee will see that, hopefully, but keep that in the back of your mind. It's something that you might be able to see, because that's an illegal kick formation.
That's correct. So what I'm going to reiterate what Doc said. Wherever the ball is kicked, it has to be at least 4 guys on each side of the football, pretty much, wherever the kicker is.
Yep.
So, for example, they could actually start with 3 on one side and have the kicker like loop around. So when he kicks it, it's 4 on one side. So it's not an illegal formation until the ball is kicked. But be cognizant of where that 4th guy is. Because once it's kicked, it's up to the referee to blow it, depending on where that 4th guy is. If it makes it 3 once it's kicked on one side, it's a dead ball foul, re-kick, 5-yard penalty. All right. But back to the initial, once you run over, put your hand up, wait for the referee to blow his whistle. All right.
Cruz, things you might see. Remember that contact below the waist is illegal, whoever does it. A blocker for the return team or a defender, a kicker, trying to take out a wedge. So that kind of contact you might see.
All right. So ball is about to be kicked. Everybody is legal. Kicker's about to kick the ball. Like you can see, this line right here, no one has crossed it. So this is going to be a good kick. All right. Say for instance, this player right here. Say that foot was right past that line. This kick is going to be a deep kick, and we're going to let it go. Again, we have to make sure it's going to be a deep kick. If it's a short kick, and we know it's short, we're going to go ahead and kill it. It's a dead ball foul. All right. So just things to think about. Play continues. It's a deep kick. Again, as a guy that's on the press box side, the most I'm going to move is about 5 yards. And I'm like I said, you have your half of the field as far as kickers running down, but look for work. So again, as it continues, I'll be looking here because the foul's going to happen with mixed colors. All right. Same thing on the top side. I'm at the 40-yard line. I may come down to the 50 max, and I'm looking in this area. All right. Don't forget, you initially key on the kicker, but once the ball is kicked, 1 second, you're looking for blocks. All right. Your umpire will be down here at the 20. All right. He realizes it's going to be a deep kick past him. So what he's going to do, he'll probably start retreating a little bit so he has a better view of this second wedge. All right. He wants to look for blockers in front of him as well as have an idea of who the return guy is. All right. The ball is touched right there. You can see it kind of ricochet off his shoulders. Once the ball is touched by an R player, the clock will start. So umpire, you'll be about right here at the 20. Once you see that ball touches that R player, you are winding the clock, giving your arm that windmill-looking circle, letting the clock operator know to start the clock because the ball has been legally touched. All right. Ball is bouncing still. You're pretty much at the 20, maybe coming to the 15 to get a better angle. You're looking at ball carrier, and you're looking at blocks in front of him. All right. I will look through the ball carrier because at this point, there's no one around him. There will not be a foul. So umpire, you'll be looking up here, right? That's your first mixed color right here. As the play continues, Now your next threat is here, and your referee is probably looking here in front of the ball carrier. That's where he's looking. You have your wings looking, that first wave, probably looking right here. So that's where your eyes need to be as the play continues.
Oh, yeah,
All right. Umpire. Now you know. Now you have players around the ball carrier. Your focus should be more on the ball carrier and anybody that could foul him. Face mask, tripping, things like that. And you also have the spot. All right. At this time, the wing officials are probably retreating, keeping everything boxed in front of them as they're going back towards the goal line, but still officiating in this area. All right. Play continues. Again, your wing should be backing up like this with everything in front of you. Umpire's coming up the field because he has a spot. Referee is going to be trailing. He's looking at anything backside. Tackle is made probably around the 50-yard line out of bounds. Once you know the play is over, the run has ended, umpire, as well as the other crew members, will be stopping the clock, which is that timeout signal. To let everybody know play is over, ball carrier is down. All right, Doc, anything to add?
I can't emphasize enough to all of you that when you have 22 moving parts, this is one of the real challenges of officiating. Learn this mechanic.
All right. I would just do maybe a quick 2 minutes of things that could happen unexpected during a kickoff. All right. So the first thing we always want to look at, no pop-up. I'll say in my head, no pop-up, no pop-up kick, okay? We have restricted lines for a reason. Obviously, if K crosses that line, it's a dead ball foul. If R crosses the line, it's a dead ball foul. However, there's one thing that K cannot do within those restricted lines, is they cannot be the first to touch if the ball does not go 10 yards and hit the ground. So if the ball is kicked and say the ball lands at the 45-yard line, if K touches it, it's a violation, not a flag. Big difference. It's a violation, but not a flag. If they touch it and grab it, what we're going to do is put our beanbag down to where they first touched it. So we have a beanbag on the 45-yard line. Once it's secured by K and we know that nothing's going to happen, we go ahead and kill the play, stop the clock. The play is over. The violation is first touching. Legal touching in college, first touching in high school. All that means is K did something that they weren't supposed to do, so R has the option to take the ball where they first touched it. Okay? So same scenario, kick to 45-yard line, and K touches the ball, but then it's still rolling, and R picks up the ball and runs for a touchdown. You would still have a beanbag at the 45-yard line for first touching by K, but you're going to let the play continue because the ball is still live. No one has secured it. But when R picks it up, they have secured it. They are allowed to pick up the ball and run with it. So again, you'll have your beanbag down, continue to play to the goal line for a touchdown. Same scenario, kick to the 45. K touches it first. Ball is rolling around. R picks it up, runs 10 yards, fumbles the ball, and K picks it up, downs it at the 30-yard line. The question is, did K get that ball with clean hands? They had a violation before anything was possessed. So they did not get the ball with clean hands. So we go to where the beanbag was put down because remember, R has an option of taking the ball where K had a violation. Even though they fumbled, the violation supersedes that fumble. So even though they fumbled and K got the ball back, R has the option to take the ball at the 45-yard line where they touch the ball first. All right, any questions so far?
So they don't have the option to re-kick. They either take the result of the play or take the spot of first touching.
Correct.
Yes. Keep in mind that first touching only occurs between the two free kick lines. That's it.
Okay.
All right. All right, we're going to add one more caveat. So same scenario, ball is kicked to the 45, K touches the ball, R picks it up, R is running, and a R player has a illegal block below the waist during the return. R player, number 11, fumbles, K gets the ball back. All right. Normally, first touching would supersede that fumble, but we have another supersede, which is the penalty during the return. If R has a penalty during that or after the first touching, then that foul for R negates that first touching. So we will have to basically enforce the penalty. Now they can decline it. Can they decline it, Doc?
Well, if K picks up covers the fumble, of course they're going to decline it.
Right. So they're going to decline it, and K will have the ball. So that foul by R supersedes the first touch. All right. Any questions? All right. I want to add one more thing. So remember I said, in order for K to legally touch the ball, it has to go 10 yards and hit the ground. So for example,
Or an R player.
or yes, or hits an R player. So for instance, if the ball is kicked, goes 15 yards, ball is still in the air, and K runs under the ball and catches it, that is a foul for kick catch interference. Even though it went 10 yards, K still has to give R the opportunity to catch the ball when it's still in the air. All right. So no matter where it's at, if the ball is still in the air and K touches it, that is kick catch interference.
What's going on?
Even if there's no R players around. So say the ball is kicked to the 45 right here. These frontline guys run all the way up to the 40, and then the guys that's in the back run away from the ball, and K touches the ball, there's no person in 20 yards, it is still kick catch interference. Still need to give them the opportunity to catch the ball, even though there's no player around. Any questions? All right, so again, for K to legally touch the ball, has to go 10 yards, has to hit the ground, or has to hit a R player, and then it could bounce back, then it legally could touch the ball. Now remember, if they get it that way, meaning hits the ground, gets the ball, or hits the R player, hits the R player and bounces back, K is not allowed to advance the ball. So for example, say the ball hits R at the 49-yard line, is rolling around. K player picks it up at the 45 and starts running towards his end zone. All right. R never had possession. K has legally touched the ball and got possession of it. We need to kill that play because they are not allowed to advance a pretty much a muff. Okay, that's what's going to call at that point. Any questions or anything you want to add to that, Doc?
No, it's something you've got to read over and over again. You may go an entire season and never see kick catch interference on a kickoff, or first touching. You've got to read and stay up on this stuff.
All right.
You agree with that, Delano?
I do. I do. And then the last thing will be if the ball is kicked and there is a possession by R and they fumble it, that ball is live. Anyone could pick it up and advance.
That's right.
So that will be the instance where K can pick up the ball and run for a touchdown. But remember, R has to have possession of it, fumble it, and then K can pick it up and run it back. All right, so that's pretty much it for me as far as the kicking game for four-man mechanics, with a little caveat of fouls or things that could happen during a kickoff, kick return.
Hey, Delano, I had a quick question.
What you got?
So I was driving, so I may have missed it while you were talking just now. So on a say a squib kick, nobody touches it, goes past 10 yards. K cannot advance that, right?
Yep, they cannot advance it. They can pick it up, but they cannot advance it. So
Okay.
if it's a squib kick, gets a nice kick, it bounces to the 45, and this K player jumps on it, he has possession. He has illegally touched the ball. It will be K's ball. Only thing he cannot do is pick it up and run for a touchdown. But it will be his ball at the 45 where he gains possession.
Thank you for that.
Yep. All right, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate y'all taking the time to get better. Feel free to call if you got any questions. If you take a look at film and see something that doesn't look right, feel free to call me or Doc, and we'll do the best to answer your questions.
I got one thing for you, everybody leaves. If you do not have, does everybody have a game Friday? Everybody have a clock if you're new? Anybody I left off that is available to work Friday night? I'll take that as a no. Okay.
Me.
Remember Thursday is going to be a big day for us. We got a bunch of JV games and I'm going to need everybody to be available and throughout the season. Every Thursday is critical, especially for you learning, getting better. Thursday JV games is one notch below varsity games.
When does JV and Saturday start?
JV starts next week. Saturday starts next Saturday.
Okay.
Not this coming Saturday, but fall.
What should we wear for clock operator for a game?
If you've got your full dress uniform, wear it. Get used to wearing it on Friday.
Okay.
Because you know, once you get a little experience, somebody goes down, it'll put you in the game. All right, I didn't mean to hijack y'all's meeting. Y'all want to go ahead and tell me.
You good, James? All good. All right, guys. If there's no more questions, Clifton will send out the next. Clifton will send out the next training, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.